Welcome to Gear Talk.
Talking gear.
Episode 2, Season 2. Zach, how are you?
I'm awesome, man. How about yourself?
I'm riding high off of our season premiere.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Felt really good about it. Excited to get back in the saddle here. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
We're talking SKB.
Yes, sir. Excited. Can't you tell?
In case that wasn't obvious.
What case?
We need a case pun counter we should have instituted. You can't think of the good ideas live on air. We're going to be talking to Will Steven, the product manager from SKB, in a little bit. Let's check in on Will real quick. There he is. Awesome. That is not a fake background. That is as clean of a showroom as I have just about ever seen. Congrats to the SKB team on that, among many other reasons for congratulations. So we're really excited to talk to Will in a little bit. We're also going to be giving away a case today.
Yes, we are.
We are giving away a 3i series, a 1711 6DT.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned because there's going to be a little question and answer about the 3i series later in the episode. Justin, can we see that part number one more time? 3i 1711 6DT. Now, Zach and I got started as inside guys. Order entry, stock checks. We've got a passion.
It's close to our heart.
For part numbers.
Very much so.
Let's break it down.
Okay. I love it. So,
3i series. Zach, lay it on me. What's the I?
I, injection molded.
Injection molded. And we're going to see it happen.
Yes, we are.
Zach went to the factory to check out how the 3i series is made.
Super cool.
1711 6. Now, I think it's length, width, height. How am I wrong?
It's actually length, width, depth, right? And then it's actually the interior size of the case, not the exterior size of the case. So just want to make sure you remember that on any of the 3i series, you have, right, the length, the width, and the depth is where those numbers follow.
Now, see, I think height. I think like bottom up, but the guys at SK, and you know what? We're going to put Will to the test on this. Why is it depth? Why is it top down, not height?
I don't know.
Because maybe height is like if the case is standing up. Maybe that's how it gets confusing.
Ah, okay.
I'm also dyslexic, so it gets even worse like when Brandon and I throw part numbers back and forth, especially as they relate to dimensions. Okay, so if anyone knows anything about the 3i series, they probably know that it's waterproof.
Yes. Not just waterproof.
Not just waterproof, fully submersible.
Yes.
And we're going to put that to the test.
No, I hope not.
Zach and I are not. See, now we've done some waterproof. If loyal Gear Talk viewers
Talking gear.
know that we're fans of testing the waterproofness.
Yes.
That's a term. We enlisted the help of Justin to test a 3i series. If it's waterproof, let's take a quick look. Justin, show us what you got. There he is right there. That looks like a little hard to tell.
That's our ULXD rack.
That's 8 channels of Shure ULXD wireless and 4 channels of Shure PSM 1000.
Oh, no.
And there she goes.
Does Alan know we're doing this?
I think he does now.
Oh, jeez.
And you can tell the water's cold because that's a full wetsuit. There we go. Let's try to get that under there. So we're going to see how that played out.
All right, I'm interested.
We're going to come back a few times. We're going to test that gear in a little bit. That's a really cool size case. We use it a lot here at Audio Gear.
Yeah.
It's just one of the 63 sizes of cases.
Yeah,
in the
63 sizes of 63 sizes of 3i cases. That is correct.
That's not it though. We wanted to do a little bit of drop testing.
Yes.
And so we said, Justin, will you please throw some 3i series off of a tall building? We're going to tease that. This is kind of like the shark, in Jaws coming at the end of the movie. Just a little bit, Justin. Give us just a taste of that drop test. Let's just check out the height of the building, see what we got. There it is.
Oh boy.
What?
And there's stuff there.
We forgot there are breakable items inside.
Yes, there is.
Again, so stick around because after the interview with Will, we're going to do some durability testing of our own. That will then lead to your chance to win the 1711 6DT. You know what we didn't do on the part number is the D and the T.
That's right.
D for dividers. T for
think tank.
Think tank. This is a really cool partnership SKB's got going right now. Zach, tell us about Think Tank.
Yeah, so for instance, there's a partnership that they've put together with Think Tank. They make these really nice dividers, laptop dividers, everything. And of course, this one is actually pre-set up for a Canon camera. But the thing I love about these dividers is you can really go in and kind of customize it however you want, even from the big ones. So no matter what kind of gear you're going to be throwing in here, you're going to be set in any configuration you can think of.
We're going to talk to Will a little bit more about that because I know it strikes on one of his passions as well. So a lot coming up. Let's do some quick housekeeping, some news and updates, some Gear Talk news and updates. Just want to let everyone know we're going to move to an every first Thursday of the month. Okay, so we've been, let's be honest, a little sporadic for some good reasons, but we're going to commit to every first Thursday of the month. Next episode is with our friends at Allen and Heath. I think we have a case for that, actually, Zach. Oh, look at the synergy happening live on Gear Talk. That's an SQ6 in a 3i series case, one of the 63 sizes of 3i series we've got. So we're gonna, if you want to see that SQ 63,
okay.
If you want to see that SQ come out of the case, turn it on, learn how to use it. March 4th with Allen and Heath, and then on April 1st, no joking around. We're here with ClearCom, doing some remote workflows, some comm setups. Allen and Heath, ClearCom. Zach, you got a little vacation time coming to you.
Oh, wow.
We're going to see you on May 6th when we talk a little bit more about Shure.
Okay.
Allen and Heath and ClearCom, Brandon and Roscoe the dog. Everyone who keeps missing Roscoe the dog, as though Zach and I aren't cute and cuddly enough. Brandon and Roscoe will be back with me on March 4th. So stay tuned. Hope you check us out. March 4th, April 1st, May 6th. Next 3 episodes of Gear Talk. All right, Zach, let's start talking about SKB. For those who may not know, which I find hard to believe here in an Orange County area, who is SKB?
Yeah, I mean, SKB was started by, Steve Kottman and Dave Sanderson right here in our backyard in Orange, California. They started, Dave was working at Knott's Berry Farm, and when the bands would come in to play live at Knott's, he always ended up helping repair a lot of their cases that were coming in, and he saw very quickly that there was a need for an actual real case company for musical equipment.
And these are a couple of young guys, right? We're talking mid-70s, 76, 77. They're at Cal State Long Beach. They're working side jobs. They're trying to figure it out, and they see a problem. And they say, let's do it. So they started in their garage, of course. They started using heating elements from old dryers to melt plastic to start forming over everything. And then they actually started getting really good at it. And they caught notice of Doug Brown, who was the owner of California Music here in Southern California. And he said, I'll open up the back of my shop, let you guys do your thing, make some cases. And then at that time, there was a little bit of a hiccup. A little bit, when you're taking kind of repurposed heating elements and vacuum forming cases. This is an important disclaimer for any of the young entrepreneurs out there. There was a small but significant, let's be honest, fire, and unfortunately the shop burned down.
Yeah, but that was kind of their catapult into becoming a real company.
Well, Doug decided maybe the case business isn't for me. SKB, the name stuck.
Yep.
Dave Sanderson, the S, Steve Kottman, the K. They went and then made SKB what it is today, over 40 years later. I mean, we're talking about band and orchestra, still a full lineup.
Yep.
Right? All of your instrument cases, MI, keyboard, guitar.
I mean, outdoors, archery, sporting equipment. You can say from where they've come from 40 years, it is one of the most amazing stories coming from just making these little band and orchestra, cases to really being able to service multiple industries far and wide, right? From the rack gear to the guitar, to the bass, to the keyboard, to the drums. Then you fast forward, you got golf clubs, rifle cases, you got, archery cases. I mean, literally if it needs a case and it's expensive, SKB probably makes it.
Exactly. There we go. Our first one. Wow, we went a little too long, I think, with an exactly. Without an exactly. Huge, diverse lineup of cases, and they're always adding.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is, we love, if you're checking this out on YouTube, like 3 years from now, thanks, visitors from the future. There's probably way more than we're even talking about right now. So that's why you got to keep updated with SKB.
Yeah. And so with that being said, they've they've been cranking this entire time during the pandemic. They haven't shut down at all, right? So they've been coming out with new products all the time, and they had some really, really nice releases at NAMM this year.
Yeah, I think you're talking about what have you archived lately?
Yes, I am.
There we go.
So from NAMM, they came out with 3 separate Mac products, of course. One's for the Mac Pro Tower. They also have 2 flight cases for the Apple Mac Pro rack. Of course, with front and rear rack rails. One of them's mil-spec. Mil-spec.
You know what happened here is Zach is a Windows guy, and so when he had to memorize all the Mac products, it was totally foreign to him. So we had our resident Apple expert, Kyle Gish, on the production team trying to coach us on those Apple part numbers.
That's okay though. Basically, we make 2 shock racks, right? One is military grade, so built to mil-spec specifications, and the other one is a nice flight shock rack for it.
Absolutely.
We also have a new laptop case from with our new Think Tank inserts. It's going to be on this size right here, the 1813, but it's going to have the inserts for the Think Tank stuff similar to what you see here on this top part right here. We also have our new fly rack sizes too. So if you've ever seen anybody from Audio Gear come in to do a wireless demo, you've noticed we've come in with our 3i case. We take our rack of wireless out, same one that, Justin just threw in the pool, of course. But we have a new shallow rack version of that. It's a 9-inch version. We make those in 2U, 3U, and 4U as well. We also have a couple new case for the Zoom H8. And the Zoom H8, that's a nice case. It'll carry the recorder, the XY capsule, the shotgun microphone, have a nice little space for some extra cables, some extra capsules if need be.
And I love that one because that is a continuation on a partnership that's been in place for several years, dating back to the H4n, the H5, the H6, which has a couple different variations. So when SKB, when they commit, they're in, right? You come out with a new product, they come out with a new product.
Very much so.
What else we got?
We also have the new Slxd case. Shure just came out with Slxd, so that's going to replace the existing one that we've known and used forever with all of our single-channel QLXD systems. So it's going to be able to carry the new Slxd, the original SLX, QLXD and ULXD single channels, BLXR and GLXR systems. So look out for that one as well. We also have, they also make cases for brands that we don't do as well.
Yeah, they do. They do. There are other wireless systems available in the world, and SKB has cases for those too.
Yes, they do.
Here on Gear Talk, we really want to highlight the Shure ones.
Very much so. But they do also have a new case for the Akai MCP2 and the MCP1. But also, they have a brand new case that they came out with at NAMM that's going to be close to your heart. It's the new soft hardware case for drummers. Right? You can put your throne in there, you can put all of your stands in there, be able to zip it up, roll around, nice luggage case, very sick. And then they took...
So anyone looking for a gift for the drummer in your life, of which there are several at Audio Gear, I find that an empty case makes a wonderful gift because it gives that special person in your life the opportunity to fill it with a bunch of new stuff. So don't discount the empty case gift.
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah, it's not like an empty wallet, which I hear is bad luck. An empty case is good luck, makes a perfect gift. People think, let me buy them the thing, then they'll get the case. No. You get them the empty case.
Which is going to be cheaper than the thing. And then that will force them into... I love it.
Exactly.
Brilliant. One more drum case. They took a 3i series, 2424, and they made it a cymbal case. So pretty sweet. You could throw your cymbals in there. You could throw your heads in there. I think that's everything from NAMM, but if we miss something, we'll check in with Will.
It's almost like Will, the product manager, is both a drummer and a photographer. I'm starting to sense a theme here. Before we get to Will, let's check in with our 3i series submersion tests one more time. Justin, how are you doing keeping that case underwater? There we go. I'm sensing some frustration. Yeah, I want everyone out there to know safety first. Justin was in the shallow end.
Yep.
All 6'3" of them.
Yeah, he's not going to drown, I promise.
Those fins are just, in case of emergency.
Hold on, we talked about drummers a little bit. but we got to show the guitar players because this one's really cool. I love
There's many guys at Audio Gear who could use something like this.
Yes, very much so. So as we were talking about custom cases for certain pieces of gear, this is the nice Kemper case that they have. Spot for the foot controller, spot for the foot pedal, nice, simple. I mean, just something you could think of if it's a product, if it's a popular product, they probably already have an insert for it.
Or I got a great one. We're a fan favorite here at Audio Gear. This is the 2011 7. Right, so this is a very, very common size case because it is the largest carry-on approved size.
Yep.
2011 7 height, depth. But this is the tackle box. We love this one here at Audio Gear because it's got all of our little parts and pieces. Look at that stuff. When you ask us, like, hey, I lost that connector off a Core 110F, do you guys have one? I mean, we do somewhere. Depending on if Brandon's taken it home recently or not, but just a fun example of like how many different ways we have found to put cool things inside of an Skb case.
I mean, I have to say it. They're not just a case company, right? They are a solution-based company who makes cases.
Right. It just so happens the problems they tend to solve, they solve with the case.
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
All right, without further ado, because I feel like we've been talking about him kind of a lot.
Yeah.
It's because we like him so much. Let's bring in Will from Skb. Will, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Will.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for making the time. I feel like the audience has already gotten to know you a little bit. Tell us, let's start at the beginning. When did you get to Skb?
I got here about 8 years ago in 2012. And I was hired on as the product manager, mainly because I was interested in a lot of different industries. I was really big into photography, started learning a little bit about videography, and then I am a drummer as well, as you pointed out, and actually all-around musician too. So I play a little bit of guitar, have a couple turntables. I have a theremin at my house. I got all kinds of weird stuff. So I just love it all. I love gear. I love figuring out solutions to help other people, and this was just a really good fit for me. So,
you know, Will, we have a segment on Gear Talk called "Prove It, Let's Do It."
Yes.
And I feel like once you said theremin, we need to prove it. So catch up with
that
Gear
one I'll
Talk.
admit.
Well, we'll do a follow-up live stream, maybe a Will from the basement, you know, kind of vibe.
With this theremin. I love it.
That's a long time to be in charge of product development. Do you have, I mean, I'm sure you love them all, right? Zach's got 3 kids. He knows what it's like to pick a favorite. Do you have a favorite, if your desert island product over the last 8 years, could you pick just one?
I mean, there's a lot of fun projects that I've been a part of. I think one of my early on projects that I was really happy to be participating in was we did a DSLR case, and it had 3 different lens holes in it, and then it had a larger lens in the back, and it was for a couple different camera bodies. And it was just something that I was just really into, and thought, yeah, this is going to be something that we can kind of fill a gap. And it was pretty successful. So I was really happy to see kind of all of that work its way through. I'd done a lot of research and thought to myself, how are different photographers trying to travel? How do I try to travel? And then find a happy medium. And so that case in particular was probably one of my favorites. But there, like I said, there's lots of good projects we keep doing. So.
And 8 years ago, I don't think there was a section of the website called camera video, right? That's really grown from not being a category to a pretty big segment of especially the 3i series.
Yeah.
And including Think Tank. Can you tell us a little bit about how you guys got started with Think Tank?
Yeah, you know, actually, I think that Think Tank came a little bit before I joined the company. They came to have a meeting about it, but they just kind of discussed and we couldn't get on the same page of it. And so as I started with the company, we started doing, you know, we saw a gap in the lineup for pre-cut interiors for different camera setups and things. And we kind of started from there. And then we thought, we have divider system. They're pretty good the way it is, but we could probably make it a little bit better. Who better to team up with than Think Tank? They do an excellent job in the industry with photography backpacks and shoulder slings. And so that relationship, we were able to kind of communicate again and get on the same page. and we were able to make it work. And so now they're doing the interiors for our cases. And so we thought, who better? We feel like we make an extremely amazing exterior case, and they do a great job on sewn goods. So we're giving the customer a little bit of everything that they're looking for.
That's great. I know it's been, I'll say it so you don't have to gloat, but I think it's been a great success. Lot of positive feedback from it. I know from the customers we're talking to all the time. I mean, 3i series is one of those things where once you've got one and it's protecting your gear that you hold so dear, you start to really have an affinity for that case because it's pretty important in your day-to-day life, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will, we do a little thing here on Gear Talk called What the Spec?
Okay.
There's a lot of specs to talk about with the 3i series. We certainly have mentioned several times, because it might be important later, that there are 63 sizes of 3i series cases. What is common across all of those sizes? What about the 3i series can we say is uniform, a feature, a specification, something holds true throughout the line?
Well, they're all military spec cases. They're all extremely lightweight, yet extremely tough. So they're completely watertight. They're dust proof. They're all made in the U.S. in California here. And they all have a lifetime warranty on them.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better because, Justin threw $20,000 in the pool. So they're totally waterproof, dust proof. All right. Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
Correct. Yeah, so because they're completely watertight, they have a pressure release valve on the front of it, and that basically allows air pressure in and out, but no water to enter the case. So you can fly with the case, you can change elevation, and you can still open it up pretty easily when you get to where you're going.
I'm guessing that had something to do with why that case was floating in the pool, and we kept having to have Justin try to sit on it.
It takes an awful lot of weight to sink one of these cases, but the testing that we've done, they've submerged it a little bit more than a meter for a significant amount of time, and then that's what qualifies it for the IP67 rating. But there's lots of other ratings that they go through, shock tests, and then they do tests to see if dust gets into the case as well. So there's a lot of specs that they go through more on the military industrial side that we take advantage of on the photography and videography and musical side too. So we use the same cases and we basically get that same technology.
Awesome. So when I see that IP67, that's what lets me know you're not just saying it's waterproof because you feel confident about it. It's because an independent organization has certified it as such. And certainly you're going to get a call from the Department of Defense if it's not actually waterproof and dustproof.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
We love that stuff. And you mentioned I think what we see on the website is the 1,000,000-mile guarantee, but basically lifetime warranty.
Correct.
Do you have a fun example of what exactly a lifetime warranty means? Because I think we all hear that and we feel good about it. But like, what sort of circumstance could I put a case through and come to you and say, is this covered under warranty?
Sure. Well, I would say probably the most common sometimes that'll happen is somebody maybe leaves a latch open and somebody else, hits it hard enough and maybe breaks it off. That's not a problem. The great thing is that we'll just send that customer a replacement latch and then they can replace it themselves. So they're not without the case. Now, some scenarios go way beyond that. And we've had people that have been in natural disasters. And for instance, I have one in front of me right now. This one came from a house fire. You can see how melted it is all together. But actually, the case still opens up. You can see the lid foam is still inside of it. This particular case housed some microphones that were in here. The microphones were completely fine. The rest of the house, I think they lost an awful lot. But I wouldn't ever promote necessarily our case as being completely fire retardant. But at the same time, it's amazing what they can withstand. And when they lost a lot of other equipment in their house, this was something that was able to withstand and keep their equipment protected.
But that's not covered under warranty. I mean, it's a fire.
It is covered under warranty. Anything that happens to the case, basically what happens is the customer will send us in the case and we fix or replace it and then send it back to them.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it looks like they took that burning down the music shop story seriously and then engineered a case that could survive a similar event. And so just to make sure everyone's clear at home, the things you can service in the field. You mentioned the latch. I'm guessing the handle.
Correct. The handle, the pull handle on the back side of the case. We try to make it as easy as possible for a customer to be able to replace those pieces because they can't be without typically the case very long. They need to keep protecting their equipment or they're out on the road. So we just want to make it as efficient as possible. And because we have a lifetime warranty, we want to also make sure that we're not spending too much time or money to fix it. So it's really a win-win for everybody involved.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we got a chance to check out the process here because you mentioned everything from the 3i series, but also just a lot of products in general, and we're going to touch on that. But it's coming off the line at the factory in orange. Every 3i series case, is that the case?
Yes, it is.
That is the case. Yeah. Yeah. All the I-Series cases are made across the street from where I'm at right now. And we actually have a couple new machines that we just recently installed in our sales and marketing building too. So we just keep expanding and we keep adding to the amount of sizes. You know, like you had mentioned, we're at 63. When I started here, I did a little bit looking at it last night. We started with 20. I was at 26 when I came in, and that's how much in 8 years, from 26 to 63. It's pretty amazing the growth rate that we've been able to come up with. And so what we'll do is we'll check with all the different industries that we have at our building. We'll talk to the people in our sports division, in our government division, in the photography and music division, and that's how we decide what's the next case size, what's the next gap that we think that we can help with.
Awesome. Well, you know what? Let's check out some of that footage from the factory. Justin, we got this ready to go? Zach, walk us through, because you were there.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. And Will, thank you for taking the time for doing this. It was very, very impressive. I mean, right now we're looking at one of the injection molded machines, and it was awesome. You know, we got to see the molds, we got to see it come in. So can you pause it right here? So right here, this is really impressive to me. So these black cases that you see everywhere, that's the plastic they use because there's just these little itty bitty beads of color inside there, right? So is that how you get the cases to be the color that they are?
Yeah, that is correct. Basically what it is about 4% of coloring agent to turn the entire case a different color. So you can kind of think of it like you're filling up a glass and you put food dye into it. It takes just a couple drops to turn the entire glass of water into a different color. Same idea here. And so what we do is we have two large silos on the side of our building that have all this type of white pellets in it, this clear kind of white pellets, and they pump into the machines. And then we have a little bit of coloring agent that we add at the end. And then that goes into the case and that turns it its color.
So that pretty much means we can make a 3i case in almost any color we can think of, right?
That's exactly right. So we can match any Pantone color for any case color somebody would like to go with.
Okay, and then let's say we did want a custom case. What is there a minimum quantity that we would have to roll with that?
There are minimum quantities. So we have a couple different ways to customize the case to do a different colored shell. It's typically about 150 cases or more. And then we have the ability, which we'll see later on in there, to do other customization to the case too.
Awesome, awesome. Can you keep it rolling for us, Justin? So yeah, you see those little pieces of black in there, that's the color. So yeah, I mean, it was very impressive. Right here, it's getting molded. That mold, how big are those molds for these cases, Will?
These molds can basically weigh up to 40,000 pounds, and they can cost up to $500,000 on there. This particular machine that you're looking at is one of the largest on the West Coast. It has 1,600 tons of clamping pressure on it. So that's how you measure basically the machines and what they can withstand as far as the mold that you put inside of it.
Yeah, I mean, when we were walking by those molds, I mean, how heavy is one of the molds, let's just say for this case, how heavy is that mold?
You know, it's probably something like that. My guess would be maybe 25,000 or so pounds, roughly. It depends. We have so many different ones, and even the smallest, like latches and the handles, are still a couple 100 pounds. Anything that you would never want to drop on a hand or a foot or something like that.
And it's great because when we like to just tout, hey, well, there's a new size, and that's easy enough to say. It's hard when it's like, oh yeah, that new size is a 50-ton. $400,000 machine, right? How do you guys even get those in the building when it's like, oh, let's add a new size case? Well, we got to get a new machine. Oh, well, how do we even get it here?
We actually had to have a semi reinforced on the back end to support the weight of these tools when we were moving them around in these molds. But when they had the machine, the largest machine that we have here, when they basically imported sections of it, they had to do it in the middle of the night, and they had to have special clearance to get it down the freeway and everything, just because of the weight. And then when they brought in the pieces in some of these molds, they have to have specialized forklifts, and then, like I said, the semi to help kind of move it in. So it's, and then once they get into the building, they keep it right around the machine so they don't have to keep maneuvering it around. They basically, we have a crane that comes down and picks it up and then moves it in and drops it to the machine.
It's very, very impressive too when you see it live.
Yeah.
Can you keep the video going? Yeah, so right there, it came out and it was hot to the touch.
I love that. Will, you got to tell us, was Zach supposed to touch it right then? Or was that just, I can't?
He can touch it. That's fine. It's it is warm, but it's not. It won't burn you at all. It's amazing though, because it takes roughly 4 minutes for that from the plastic pellets to form into a case, and then it drops down and it almost looks like a model airplane or a model car that you would get when you were a kid. You cut off the access plastic on there, and then we put the hinge pin in, we put the latches on, and then we stack it on a pallet right next to it, and then it gets sent outside.
So that one was literally hot off the press. That one was
right
as
off the
fresh.
press, exactly.
Mm-hmm. It was warm to the touch and everything. It was real cool.
Yep.
But yeah,
I was expecting you to leave a handprint, like wet pavement or something.
I was scared. You see me? I put it on and then took it off real quick. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna mess it up, am I? But yeah. Sorry, we cut from the video real quick. Justin, can you go back to that still shot right there? So this one I found was very interesting because I love the army green color. That has, right, with those little pellets, you just threw in a couple army greens and we do a run of 150 and that's the color it comes out with. So, but what is that case for? Because I didn't know when I was looking at it. It was a really weird shape. What were you guys doing there?
So this particular case is an archery case that we have, and so it has straps in the base of it, and that holds the bow down, and then it's got arrow holders up in the top. But it's always interesting because I typically work on the music and photography and pro audio side, but I'll go down the line and we'll see all kinds of interesting inserts that come in. So it really changes, and we serve a lot of markets. So
yeah, you can see we've got the 5014 behind us, which we're using as our social distance measuring stick of sorts. We can't wait to find some things to put into this. Stay tuned for your audio gear rep, coming with something in this case next. I was shocked. I had never seen this particular size before today. Just one of the new ones you guys have added recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. We're always adding new sizes up. And then depending on the type of projects, we're in the midst of doing a custom case as well. It's typically not something that a lot of customers end up doing just because of the cost involved into it. But we have the ability to do anything like that. So it really, for us, what we typically do is we'll head to the trade shows and talk to resellers and then find out what are we missing? What would help them if there's a particular setup? So there's one particular case that we came out with, which is a 3i 221312. And that one we thought was perfect for video cameras and broadcasters who wanted to basically build up these shoulder mount rigs for video cameras, just set it down in the case and pull it out real quick and go with it and run and gun. And so there's other cases that other competitors didn't have. And we thought, why can't we fill that gap? What else can we do? And so we're always just trying to think of what are the solutions out there?
Yeah, and I'd like to further that a little bit because you and I have already done a custom case for a certain couple of rolling pieces that went through really easily. I mean, it was super simple, brought you the stuff. Yep. You guys did the measurements. You cut out the prototypes real easily. We got them approved and we're off and running. Now that is a product. And from start to finish, that took 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was super simple, and thank you for that. And I want to make sure that our dealers and everybody else knows it's a very simple process, and it could be very lucrative as well.
Yeah, we have an in-house foam designer, and so basically we can do any different custom insert. And so he'll go into a CAD file and then go to SolidWorks, and he'll design that insert. And then we'll cut out a prototype on foam, and that gets done with our water jet. And then basically we'll have the customer sign off on it, and then we'll get it outsourced to a foam vendor and be able to get it done right away.
Yeah, and I think we actually have a little bit of that too, because that we really were honing in on that on the tour because I was thoroughly impressed with it. How easy the process was. There's a couple cool little different things. Justin, can you get that video going again? Yeah, so here's the archery.
So, Will, where do you fall on my debate here? Length, width, and height or depth? Is that an internal discussion there?
Well, that's a good point. I think you can go either way. We both know at that point. Yeah, I'm a drummer as well. So, Ross, sometimes I think height, but you could also say depth to it as well, I think.
There we go. It's a drummer distinction. I was trying to think, is it like a feet or meters, or no, that's an actual difference. I'm sorry.
I wanted to introduce you guys real quick.
Hey, at least he didn't say he was a musician.
Hey,
there he is.
Thanks for stopping by, sir.
Wait.
Guys.
Are you stopping by just for drummer jokes? Because that's totally fine.
I came by to hassle Will.
That's a form of a drummer joke. We're good.
Yeah. We're doing awesome.
Welcome to Gear Talk.
Talking gear.
You're live on the internet.
I'll leave you guys alone, man.
Awesome, Dave. Thanks for stopping
Dave.
by. How awesome was that? Right, so that is the S in SKB, by the way, guys. That was Mr. Dave.
And I'm sorry, I distracted us. We saw that really cool part of the factory with the Roto Molds.
Oh, yes. We didn't even go into the Roto Mold part. So can you play that video back real quick, Justin? So it was playing while we were talking. So I thought this part was really, really cool, right? So we talked about the injection molding. We had the injection molding machine where we're injecting all these little pellets. The Roto Mold process we've been doing for quite some time, and it's a little bit different. It requires blow torches and ovens, and I mean, I thought it was super cool. So could you elaborate on that a little bit, Will?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So with Roto Mold, it's just a different type of plastic that we use as well. It almost looks like sand material. And so when we're doing the tour, it gets really slippery when you're around the floors around in that area.
I could moonwalk very easily.
Yeah, you got to be careful. And so we have a giant, basically, bag of this that it kind of pours into, and we measure it out by weight. And then we dump that plastic inside the tool itself. And then basically all these guys put together the tool. It sounds almost like a NASCAR pit crew. They're screwing it in and making sure it's all secure. And then it gets heated up on the spinning wheel that you'll see. And it goes through a heating stage and a cooling stage. And it takes roughly about 50 minutes or so to come out all the way around. So it's very time intensive compared to an injection molded case. But it can do unibodied shapes such as drum cases and rack cases very well. So there's lots of benefits. So we have a combination of both styles of injection molded and roto-molded products.
Which makes sense because, I mean, what happens if I needed how big would the mold be for one of our big trunk cases that we do on the Roto Molds versus a 3-eye, right?
Oh, yeah. It could be much larger. I think the other thing too is that the tooling charge is a lot less expensive as well. So sometimes it makes more sense for those much larger cases to be done in roto molded versus injection molded, especially because when it comes to injection molded, you're kind of stopped by the machine size as well. So with roto molded products, yes, the machine size plays a part into there, but injection mold is just a lot more cost involved into something like that. So
Gotcha.
We were going to try to open the show by popping out of a big SKB case, but in our middle age, neither Zach or I are flexible enough anymore to act.
I did try.
we gave it a go. We did what we could. Let's finish out right here, just I think we're right at the end of the tour, which I know is Zach's favorite part here.
Oh, yes. This is my favorite part right here. So this is part of the customization that we were talking about. So right here, what we're seeing is that company's custom hot stamp, right? Can you explain that to us a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a couple different ways that we can customize the case. One of which is the color of the shell. The other is the actual badge on the case. We can replace our SKB badge with a custom company logo on there. And then the other option, which is really slick, which is what you're seeing in the video, is a hot stamp. And so we basically have a tooling fee, and that purchases the hot stamp, and then it has film that goes on it. You can pick a color. It's a single color, and it gets pressed, heated up, and pressed into the lid of the case. We take every lid off of each of the cases, press it into there. It fuses into the plastic, and then it gets pulled away, and then it has a really beautiful logo at the end of the day. And we've done lots of different companies over the years.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you have the Zoom logo on the Zoom cases. Yeah. That's how you have all the different, right? Because of this hot stamp.
Correct.
Is there a different minimum quantity for the run of hot stamps versus the run of custom colors?
Yeah, so if somebody was wanted the black case with a custom hot stamp, the minimum for that would be 100 cases.
Okay.
So it just the reasoning why it's a little bit more for a custom color is because it actually takes quite a bit of time to flush out the color, the black color, into a different color in there. And basically what happens during that process is we get these crazy tie-dye looking cases, and they have a cleaning agent that goes through them. So they're not as strong as our typical case at the end of the day. So we get it flushed through. We take those tie-dye looking cases, and sometimes we have to dial in the pressure just right. So some of them aren't completely formed. So once we do that, we have a pallet of these cases that basically at that point we send to a recycling facility. They get ground up, they get sent back to us, and then we use them in the latches and the handles of the case.
Super cool.
I love the journey it takes, right? It's going to be a 3i series case in one way or another.
That is
like, there's
awesome.
just no getting out of it. I can also imagine the accidental, like, tipping a thing of the colored pellets.
Oh, geez.
That would not be fun. Yeah, that's not a mistake you want to make.
Right.
Very cool. Will, I know you've been so generous with your time. We appreciate it. We're going to get to a section we love here called Prove It. Oh, yeah, we told you about it. Prove It, let's do it. You're going to prove all of your musical chops to us in a later video to be named later. But we're gonna put some stress tests on these 3i series. So, Will, we love you, man. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, dude.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, my man.
All right, take care. So before we head over, let's do one last look in at Justin and his attempt to, as thoroughly as possible, submerge this 3i series case. We're back. We've moved. Okay, so this is what we're going to do here, right? Okay, while we would love to take like a jackhammer to a case here in the office, there's only so much Alan will let us get away with. But the devil is in the details.
Very much so.
Right? It is so easy to look at these products on a website or a catalog, or maybe you've seen them or used them once or twice, but it's the things you deal with on a daily basis, dozens, hundreds of times, that can either always make you a little bit happy or always make you a little bit frustrated. One thing we love, this is one of the 63 sizes of 3i series case. Zach, tell us about the handle.
So, as you'll notice, one nice little itty bitty button right here for your pull handle. So anytime I pull down with my right hand, I'm up and off. I'm off and running.
Off hands
Super
free.
simple. Other hands free. So you know what I can do with this hand, right?
This is Zach on the way into or out of an appointment. Cell phone, SKB case. As opposed to, again, not like a deal breaker, but just one of those things where it's like, it's a two-handed kind of approach here. And there's a little just kind of, once maybe you want it up, and you accidentally, it goes down, or it just, tiny little details. We've solved that. We've thought of that.
Yes, we have.
We fixed it.
Yes, we have.
It's better.
It's way better.
It's just better.
Yes.
One other thing. Let's go. Okay, in the end, what is likely to cause you a problem first? You probably got a lot of heavy equipment in here, right? It's a 4RU rolling rack case. It's gonna weigh something. A lot of pressure is gonna get put right on the handle on this pivot point. Now, what I'm noticing right off the bat, Zach, is I've got 8 different points where this entire plate is mounted in, securing the pull handle.
And I'm looking at, I got 4 here.
Okay, so, I feel like we should just try to give it a little elbow grease.
Yeah,
I feel like you need better leverage.
I do. I need to get up here.
All right, yep, there we go. Let's see things from a different perspective here.
From here,
Give it all you got.
I got some good, I'm going. This bad boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shoot.
Well, you know what? That's what we're here trying to do.
Oh,
okay.
shoot.
So
Gish, I'm sorry, bro. I broke your case.
maybe we should have pointed this out to begin with. Non-SKB case.
Ooh.
SKB case. Non-SKB case. Let's get that out of here.
Let's throw
You know
that.
what? Let's do one more test while we're at it. because that's not the only way things might go wrong.
I can't even get it down.
We'll leave that up for now. Things falling on your case full of your nice, expensive, probably very important to you, rack equipment. What might happen per se if someone decided to just like jump up and down on your case?
Whoa,
Steady as she goes.
Okay.
Give it the old college care.
Okay. That's about as much as I'm
So
doing.
what's happening here is we are getting separation from the lids. We're going to bust these joints off this non-SKB
Yeah,
case.
I don't trust that.
All right, let's get that out of there. As opposed to, and I mean, this is real life audio gear inventory. Like if this goes wrong, we're going to kind of be in trouble. But we're good. We're confident. Look at that. We're proving it. Okay.
That's pretty solid.
That is good for that SKB case. I think we need to close out a couple of things. We've been teasing a couple of things so far. Why don't we do the conclusion of the IP67 rated military spec 3i series case full of Shure wireless.
I'm scared.
Let's go to the conclusion of this test. There it is. Okay.
Good.
8 channels of ULXD, 8 channels of PSM 1000. We've got the case right here. Justin brought it back. Thank you very much. This is our AD Quad Kit 1. If anybody has demoed this with us. There we go. Moment of truth.
It's all on.
We still have a job, I think.
Okay. Oh, I'm feeling so much better about this now.
Thank you, Justin. Woo. Thank you, SKB. We've got one other one. Let's go to the harrowing conclusion of the drop test.
Yes.
Let's see what we got.
So I noticed that said drop 1, drop 2, drop 3. That's 3 drop tests.
3 times a charm. We got a pint glass, because let's put something breakable and then throw our hands in there. And it's not fun unless there's a danger of some expensive Shure wireless equipment
Yes.
getting destroyed. So we've got the case here. There it is. We've got a, who snuck that in there?
Oh,
That's
what
a
is
Rep
that?
of the Year award.
For who? Oh, for SKB,
Thanks,
2014.
SKB. All right,
Thank you,
I hope to be adding to the shelf soon.
Yes, sir. The pint glass. We're good to go.
Good to go. We told Justin to put something breakable in there. I don't think we said like a glass object, but why not?
ULXD2.
And a ULXD2. And actually the case itself, 3 drop tests. We can get some,
Yeah, getting it up
I mean,
close.
certainly there's a little wear and tear. It did get thrown off the building a few times.
But I would
think
take
that's-
those scratches all day long to have my gear protected.
To have that pint glass. We should have
All
put
day.
a beer in there for Justin afterwards. Let's give something away.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
Okay, so 3i 1711 6DT, one of 63 sizes, IP67, military spec, waterproof, dustproof. Did I leave anything out?
No.
Think
Lifetime
tank.
warranty. Think tank dividers.
Very important. Lifetime warranty.
Definitely. Recyclable handles and recyclable latches. Very slick.
So, get into the chat window. First person to identify how many sizes of cases are there in the 3i series family.
2.
It's not 2.
Okay.
More than 2. It's less than 1,000. Those are all your hints. How many sizes of cases in the 3i series? Get your guess into the chat window. Justin's going to follow up with you. If you can't tell, Justin's a busy guy. So if he doesn't get back to you like in the next 20 minutes,
We'll get him out of the pool.
we'll get him out of the pool. Good call. Chris at Apex?
Chris LeBur at Apex.
Zach
is
will
the
probably
winner.
drive it over to you.
I will drive it over to you.
Probably, it's like on 3 out of 4 of our way home. So, Chris, congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Awesome.
We love you. And thank you to Will.
Thank you to Will.
Thank you to SKB.
Very much so. Thanks for Dave for stopping by real quick. That was kind of cool.
Dave for dropping by to Gear Talk. Come back on March 4th.
Yep, first
Allen and
Thursday.
Heath. April Fool's Day, April 1st, Clearcom. May 6th, Shure.
Sure Wireless.
And then stay tuned.
There we go.
Thanks
Really
for joining
appreciate
us.
everybody coming, guys.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Kyle Gish, Zach Rickard, Ross Hornbuckle. Take care, everybody.
See ya.